Hey there! Ever had that moment where your shot looks great on the back of your camera, but then you get home, load it up on your computer, and yep, it's out of focus? Well, I've got the solution for you, and it's called tethering. What's up? My name is Jeahn, commercial photographer and educator, and tethering is one of the best things I ever did for my workflow. It's unlocked a level of precision and efficiency in my work that I've never had before, so I'm going to show you how tethering can help you do the same thing. So why tether? Tethering is like a bridge between your camera and your creativity, helping you focus on what is most important, which is making your awesome art. First, it allows you to instantly review your raw files in full resolution on your computer, and you can apply color changes to see how the final results are going to look. Second, you can check for technical issues on the fly, reducing chances of photos being out of focus, or not getting the right composition, or making sure your light is just perfect. So that's the kind of stuff that really made me fall in love with tethering. And third, your team will be happier. They can watch the shots come to life in real time for instantaneous collaborative environment. And for example, like you have a food stylist on set and you can both look at the monitor to hash out exactly what you need to do to improve the shot. Fourth, your clients can also look through the photos right then and there and pick their favorites during the session, eliminating the need to have them look through them later and waste a bunch of time, and it's just really a streamlined way to work. Fifth and finally, your photos will save to your computer as you shoot, acting as an instant backup for your files, which means you don't have to fiddle with memory cards, and I personally set up my camera so that it saves to my memory cards and it saves to the computer at the same time, just as an extra precaution. So now let's talk about the gear you need for tethering. First, you need a rock solid cable. When I first started, I bought a generic USB-C cable from Amazon for super cheap. It was like 15 bucks, and it worked for a while, but then it started to randomly drop signal. And turns out the housing was coming loose from the end of the connection, which started to fray. But what really scared me was that the fraying was causing heat damage to the cable, and the thing was starting to burn. I noticed little black marks on it. But thankfully, I caught it early and trashed the cable, and it could have caused serious damage to my computer or my camera for that matter. So I told myself that I would spend more money on a really nice tethering cable rather than the cheap stuff just to protect my equipment, because that could have caused some serious damage. So that's when I started researching and I found out about Tether Tools, and I've been using their 9-foot tether cable ever since then. But about a month ago, Tether Tools reached out to me, thank you Tether Tools, to see if I wanted to test out their new Tether Pro Optima 10G cable, and it's been an absolute game changer, and I've been using them for years, so I said, yeah, absolutely, send it over. Let's try it out. I've taken this cable everywhere in the studio and on location, and it has performed flawlessly for me. Now, it's a bit of an investment starting at 50 bucks versus like the Amazon $15 one, and it goes up to about 160 for the really long one, but to protect my equipment, I know it's reliable for my work and it's worth every penny, so that is why it's my go-to. So let's talk real quick about the features of the cable and why I might recommend it to you. First, it's really long. Again, they have options up to 31 feet, which really allows me a ton of freedom in the studio to move around and all that stuff, which has been amazing. And if you need to go longer, which is kind of crazy, you could connect two of these together with their booster to get it up to 62 feet, which I don't think I will ever personally need, but hey, it's possible if that is what you want. And the build quality is really, really good. The housing in the data booster is also water resistant, and this is a really cool detail about Tether Tools. Their cables are orange so that nobody trips over it, which saves my butt as a studio owner. But if that's not your thing, they also have a stealthy black version too. You can check out all the specs at the link in the description, but this cable is really built to keep you connected and creating for years. Next on the gear list, you should look for some kind of cable management solution to help protect the ports on your camera. So for example, if someone were to trip over your high-vis orange cable, you risk damaging the USB-C port on your camera. So various companies have made tripod plates that you route the cable through to prevent any tugs, and then you screw it onto the bottom of your camera. So to take it off or to untether your camera, you have to unscrew that tripod plate. But Tether Tools came up with a pretty clever solution, and it's called the lever lock, this thing right here. This is an Arca Swiss type plate, and it connects your cable securely to your camera without being able to pull it out, and you don't have to unscrew it each time you want to tether. Instead, there's this spring-loaded lever right here that holds the cable tight while making it super easy to remove the cable whenever you need to. So let me demonstrate that real quick. So here I have the cable end that is labeled as the camera end, which is very clear, another very cool thing that Tether Tools does. And I'm going to open up this tether port, pop it in here. Now they have a right angle version of this as well, which is really, really handy, but I like the straight one just because I configure it differently sometimes and I don't mind that little loop. Let me turn around so I can show you how this works. So this is the system, super, super easy. In fact, orientation that you'll see it from is probably from here. And so what you do is you take this, you pull this lever back, and you can just run your cable through here like that and like this, and then it goes right in here just like that, and you let this lever go and it holds it tight so you can tug on this and it's not going to come out and it's not going to damage your USB-C port, which is really the most vulnerable part of your tethering system. So because that is so easy, it really is the obvious choice for me and what I recommend to people, but there are other brands out there, and as long as you have something to protect your cables from being yanked out of your camera, you will be good to go. Now let's talk about your computer setup. You can use pretty much any modern computer these days, but for the best results, you'll want to have a USB-C or Thunderbolt connection that is 10 gigabits per second or faster, which is really common these days. For example, the new M1 Mac computers and even the M4s, anything M1 or newer, has a 40 gigabit per second connection, so those should be plenty fast. If you have something like that, you're good to go. And I personally use the CalDigit TS4 USB hub in my studio, and it's got plenty of fast connectivity, and it plugs straight into my MacBook, and I'm good to go. Next up, you want to make sure that your computer has plenty of storage space, since RAW files can be pretty large, and if you're taking hundreds of them, they do end up filling up your hard drives pretty quickly. Finally, you'll need tethering software to communicate with your camera. While most camera brands offer their own free software to get you started, programs like Capture One and Smart Shooter offer more advanced tools for coloring, organizing, and managing your photos. You can also tether directly to Lightroom Classic, but it is a bit clunky, so I'll be using Smart Shooter 5. If you want to follow along, you can download a free 30-day trial of Smart Shooter 5 at the link in the description, so feel free to pause this video, go install the program, and come back. It should only take you a few seconds. Now, Smart Shooter has a ton of features, especially for e-commerce and multiple camera angles, and can feel a bit overwhelming, but no worries, we'll keep it super simple, and if you're following along with different software, a lot of the functionality should be the same. But now it's time to get everything connected, and it's common that when you first start tethering, you might run into a few bumps that keep your camera from connecting, so let me walk you through some common troubleshooting steps that'll save you time and frustration. First, make sure your camera's firmware and your computer operating system are up to date so that everything can talk to each other properly. You'll also want to make sure you have the latest version of your tethering software if you haven't updated it in a while. If you just installed Smart Shooter, you should be good to go. And then next, you want to make sure that your USB data transfer is turned on in your camera settings. The exact names of the settings vary between camera brands, but if you just do a quick Google search for your make and model, it will point you in the right direction. So next, you'll want to turn off any USB-C charging or power delivery options in your camera. This is because charging can actually slow down or even stop data transfer altogether, especially with longer cables. And this issue has been particularly bad with Canon cameras. So the cool thing about the Optima 10G cable is that it eliminates power delivery entirely, which prevents issues with Canon or any other camera for that matter. So it's another reason why I recommend the Optima 10G, because it eliminates compatibility issues across the board. Now, here's a pro tip. Your computer can only talk to your camera through one app at a time. So if you have an application like Lightroom or Dropbox or any other app that's trying to access your camera, your tethering software will get locked out. So close down any programs you have running in the background and you should be good to go. And while this is becoming less of an issue with newer systems, the order that you turn on and connect everything can also make a difference. So here's a quick sequence you can try just in case. First, start your computer. Second, connect your camera while it's turned off. Third, close any programs and background tasks. Fourth, launch your tethering program. And finally, turn your camera on. If you follow these steps and still need more help, Tether Tools has some great online resources and community forums where you can find more specific help, but in 99% of cases, this should get you up and running no problem. And once you're all connected, you're ready to create some magic. So let's walk through some of the basic functions you'll find in your tethering software. First, Live View allows you to see the viewfinder in real time, connecting you directly to your composition. You can also add overlays and grids and guides to help you create a more dynamic composition. But what's even cooler is you can actually put in and view custom graphics for like ad copy or design elements that you need to design your composition around, which is super handy. Next, the remote control feature lets you tweak focus and camera settings right from your computer, as well as trigger the shutter remotely, which is really handy. So there you have it, but I have some bonus tips for you that will help prolong the life of your cables. So one of the things commonly overlooked is how to properly wrap your cables. These cables are tough, but that doesn't mean you can abuse them and expect them to last forever. USB-C cables have loads of tiny wires inside, and when you're wrapping the cable around your arm or twisting it up or pulling it out of the plug or anything like that, you have the potential to cause stress and break the wire strands inside. So here's a hack that I learned in my past life as an audio-visual stage tech for wrapping cables correctly, and it's called the back roll technique. First, you're going to want to pull your cable out from the connection point here, and then undo the lever lock if you have one. Then you want to lay out your cable flat on the floor, grab it loosely, and then keep rolling it forward and backward under itself and alternating until it closes up all the way. So let me show you. The first roll is going to be a forward loop, like a normal cable roll, like this. The second roll is going to be backwards. So what you do is you reach on the opposite side of the cable and bring it up on the inside like so. And then you have your second loop just like this. And then you keep doing that. So you see how it's under itself. Now you do the front loop and then the back loop. And if you ever get a loop that's kind of sticking out like that, it means it didn't get a full rotation. So I like to just kind of wiggle the cable and make sure that it's setting nicely in the wrap. And when done properly, the coil should lay flat without any tension in it or anything that's trying to kind of force it apart. And you should also be able to throw it nicely, and it should lay flat from the throw because you're twisting it forward and then backwards, so it's not continuing to twist. So when you throw it, it should lay flat like this. Once your cable's wrapped up, it's a good idea to store it somewhere cool and dry so that your cable will stay ready to help you create your best work for years to come. So if you're ready to dive in, check the links in the description below. Don't forget you can get Smart Shooter for 30 days for free, so test that out. And if you have any questions at all, Tether Tools' excellent customer support is just a call away. And if you have learned anything new, give this video a like and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one. And one final thing, if you've made it this far into the video, I have a free treat for you. It's my Proven Portrait Lighting Techniques e-guide. It's a mouthful, but it has all you need to learn about lighting and the basics of light position and shadow patterns, and you can get that for free over at lumauniversity.com. And that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.